Hey, how y'all doing? Holmes here, and welcome to my Elden Ring Dex Build video. This is pretty much gonna go over my build for this game, because I know a lot of people are asking for my stats and stuff like that. So yeah, this is pretty much what I conclude with. There is a little bit things you can change up, so I'll go over that as well, and then I'll briefly touch upon on how to get the items and stuff. So yeah, if you guys want like a detailed location, let me know in the comments, and if I don't already have the video up, I'll try to record it if I have the time. So yeah, let's go over the weapons real quick. So our starting class is gonna be Samurai, so you can just get the Uchigatana right off the bat, and then the Longbow. So these two are gonna be with you from the beginning, and then the Beast Crest Heater Shield, this can be obtained near the Storm Gate, so it's pretty earlier on the wheel as well, so you can get all three of these pretty early. And then as upgrades goes, you want to go for a Keen Uchigatana, so try to get the Bloodhound step. You can all actually just make a beeline towards Kaled and make the Black Knight commit suicide, and then you can just then get this and then plunk it into your weapon. So then you'll have a Keen Uchigatana to begin with, and it'll scale off of Dex. That's why we have the Keen version. So then after that, you can upgrade your Uchigatana a little bit, but I wouldn't recommend pouring all your resources into it. Maybe get it to +5 or +10. And then once you get the Nagakiba, which you can kill Yura for, or you can do a side quest, which can be it can also be done like right in the beginning without having to fight any bosses. Yeah, you don't have to fight any bosses to get his storyline done. So you can do that and then just get the Nagakiba, and then focus upgrading this. So once you get this to +25, or like as you're upgrading it, if you have extra resources, you can put in an Uchigatana. And then yeah, your goal is to get this to 25 first, and then worry about Uchigatana next. So if you do get both of them to 25, that's great, but just focus on Nagakiba first. So yeah, Nagakiba is also going to start with a Keen Ash of War, so you can just pretty much like get the Bloodhound step onto Nagakiba, and then switch to Nagakiba's Ash of War and put it into Uchigatana, and they'll just both be Keen, and then you'll have two katanas that scale off of Dex. And then for like tough enemies and bosses go, you can pretty much just use jump attacks in dual wielding. It's really freaking great. Does good damage and has a good chance of knocking the boss down for crits. And you can also use the combo attack, which has a 4-hit combo. And this is good for, I guess, if you want to build up like bleed or whatever when the boss is down. But I usually just, even when the boss goes down, I just stick with like jump attacks, because I feel like it does way more damage than when you just try to combo. Bloodhound step looks something like this. So you have like a great dodge range, but it causes FP. So if a boss is doing like some devastating attack and you just want to get like that one last hit in, you can just like step back with the Bloodhound step. Really good for us melee users, because we don't have the privilege of standing like far away and blasting enemies with the Kamehameha wave. So yeah, that's pretty much the combat. The shield is for annoying attacks, so if you can't get away with the Bloodhound step, let's say the boss is doing some AoE and it's really like it's either life or death. If you don't dodge, you'll get one-shotted, then you can just block it. Most of the boss, I believe, you can block their crazy attacks and you'll still survive. Like you'll break your guard, but you can survive it. I don't think I've seen a boss that can just like straight up one-shot you, unless it's a grab. Then you're kind of fucked. You have to dodge those. You can't block those grabs. So that's my combat setup for your base combat setup. And let's go over the rest of the stuff, and then I'll go over the PvP stuff. So this is mainly for PvE right here. It can also work for PvP, but I don't know if it'll work as well with this current setup, and I'll go over the PvP setup and I'll explain more about it later. So armor, I went for the Black Knife set. So this is obtainable by getting to the Mountain of Giants, so the snowy area which does require you to, I believe, take down a key boss, 2 key bosses, I think, in Lindell. So you have to fight bosses to get to, no, probably 3. Anyways, you want to get to the snowy area, and that's how you get this. And the armor itself doesn't really matter all that much. This is, if you guys been watching or sticking around, you guys know I'm all about like fashion, souls. So this is just mainly for looks. Like, that's the reason why I have like why I'm wearing this. You can just pretty much wear whatever the heck you want, in my opinion, as long as your equipment load is medium or light. You don't want to have a heavy equipment load, because then you're gonna be doing fat rolls. So like when you roll, it's gonna like stagger. So as long as you're doing quick dodges like this, I think it's fine. Like, I don't see much of a difference between that and the light roll. Actually, it looks the same to me, because like if we take off our armor, it's light and the roll still looks the same to me. So yeah, so medium to light, I guess, is fine. So you don't have to stick with what I have here. Talismans, this one is for increasing our iframe. So you can obtain this in Atlas Plateau in one of the catacombs. And then this medallion will up our stamina. This is obtained by defeating Margit in Lindell, or the outskirt of Lindell. And then the Crimson Medallion, this one will up your HP, and this is obtainable by going towards the sewer area. And this is also in Lindell. There's a sewer area that you can go in Lindell, and you jump through the well, and that's where you can get this. This medallion here will up your attack when you cause an enemy to bleed, and this is also obtainable by Lindell. Like all these are from Lindell. So once you get there, you can basically get all these. This one's also obtainable in the sewers and in the catacomb of the sewers. So you have to kind of get through. You have to get through a boss as well in the sewers of the catacomb in Lindell. I don't know. Fucking in Lindell's sewer catacomb. That's how you get this. So you can either use that. If you're fighting a boss, you can use that, or if you're going through just a level, you can use this Taker's Cameo. This is obtainable by doing the Volcano Manors quest line, and restores HP upon defeating enemies. So like, you know, if you're going through an area and you want to try to clear out most of the enemies, and you also want to save on your flasks, because then you don't, like, if you rest at a grace area, obviously all the enemies are going to come back. So if you want to save your flask, but you also don't want enemies to respawn, this is pretty good. If you need to have extra equipment load, you can also use the Great Jar. This is done by finishing the Great Jar's trial. Radagon's Scarseal. This is obtainable in Lindell, and this is good for later. I'll explain more about this in a bit. And then our flask, try to up this as much as possible. You can go around the whole entire map and get the golden seeds, and then with those you can up like how many flasks you can carry. And then as for the plus 1, 2, 3, I'm not sure what the max is. Maybe it's 10, because I haven't gotten all of it. I'm only at plus 6. And you can obtain these by visiting the churches. Most of the Church of Marika, they usually have this. So you can get those, and then you can upgrade your flask that way. And that will just upgrade the mountain heals. So it's pretty good. Get it as high as possible if you can. Flask of Wondrous Psychic, right? No, Physic, my bad. Just got off work, sorry. Flask of Wondrous Physic. This I usually like the combo with Green Burst Crystal Tier and Strength Knot Crystal Tier. So boosts stamina recovery speed, so you can, you know, dish out more damage in my opinion. And then temporarily boosts in strength. I think this boosts your attack. If it just boosts your strength stat, then that's kind of dumb. Then I have just had this for nothing. So yeah, but you know, this is my combo for my Wondrous Flask. And then for summon, I went for Mimic Tier since this was like the go-to one for a lot of people. You can go for any of them actually, in my opinion. I feel like as long as you can get it to plus 10 and they can tank for you, I think it's good. Or they can dodge a lot and keep the boss like distracted, because there are like some of the boss fights are really annoying. So for summons, you know, get it to plus 10 as like whatever works for you, get it to plus 10. I just chose the Mimic. Anyways, for the weapon buffs, since both of our weapons can be buffed, it doesn't really matter which one you use. I mainly like the Blood Grease. I know some people like the Freezing Grease. And the Rot Grease is also pretty good as well, because this drains a lot of health. But this doesn't really matter. This is only like a little buff. And if you have Mimic Tier, they can also use whatever the heck you have in your quick slot here. And then we have the Crystal Dart here. These are like your throwing knives. And this is just good for pulling. There's no like particular reason why I have this. Like, it doesn't matter which one you use actually. So yeah, you can just get the basic ones and then just use that to pull like the birds or whatever. So this is just, you know, if using the bow is like too slow or whatever, you can use the darts. So that's our basic go-to combo for PvE. Now, once you beat Malenia, you can then switch it up a little bit. You can then equip the Hand of Malenia, and the upgrade stone required for this is the Somber upgrade stone, but it also requires 48 dex, so you gotta be really committed to this dex build. Or if you want, you can like level up super high and you'll have no problem attaining this. But for me, since I don't know why, but I'm capping myself at 100. That's how I usually do these builds when it comes to these type of games, because I don't want to like super over level and people be like, damn, you level 500. That's gonna be like, it's gonna take forever to get to. So that's the reason for that. That's why I don't like to like super over level. I want to keep it at a point where, you know, it's obtainable. So if you're using the Hand of Malenia, you can either alter your stats a little bit, maybe lower a little bit of vigor and endurance, and then, you know, exchange it for dex, so you can equip a Hand of Malenia without having to sacrifice, you know, Talisman. Because with the Hand of Malenia, I usually run Radagon's Scarseal for this, so I get that extra boost in Dexterity, and it just happens to go up to 48 with this build. So I just barely made it to this. So then, since the Hand of Malenia, it has like better performance compared to the Uchigatana. See, it has like that. The stats are way higher, and also the bleed build was like, it's at 50. But the bad thing is you can't use a weapon art. I mean, not weapon art. You can't use a Ash of War for this. So for PvE, this is what you want to have. Like the Hand of Malenia, you want to keep it on your offhand so you can still use your Bloodhound step. Okay, so I mean, unless you really want to use her weapon art, then you can switch it over. But I don't know if this is a good idea against like bosses, because then the bosses in this game can very well just like two-shot you or even one-shot you. So hers, like, it takes a long time to make the thing happen. Like, she dances around a little bit. You can hit it twice, like one, and then you can do it again. So it's a long dance, and I don't really recommend it. I usually just like to stick with my jump attacks. So yeah, you can replace your offhand with Uchigatana with Hand of Malenia if you defeat her, or if you choose to defeat her, or when you defeat her, my bad. So After that, you can just have this. This can be your like NG plus combo, or if you still have like side bosses you need to fight, this can be your go-to setup. So that's as far as PvE goes. Okay, so your dodge. So once you get the Hand of Malenia, I pretty much just don't use this anymore for the attack boost. I mean, I guess I can, but then I'll have to switch out either one of these, I guess, because the dodge is pretty good. Like against bosses, this is fucking fantastic. So yeah, anyways, PvE setup complete. Now PvP setup, if you want to go invading and stuff like that, switch it over to Hand of Malenia, and then your offhand will be Key Nagakiba. It works. The Nagakiba still works. The Bloodhound dodge, it's like the Bloodhound step is still viable during PvP. You probably want to take out this though, so then you replace it with this. So if you cause a phantom or the host to bleed, you get that extra boost, and then you can try to finish the fight a lot faster, because you don't want to be taking extra damage by equipping the dodge one. You ain't really dodging much in PvP anyways. So that will be this will be the setup for PvP. Except maybe not these, because you don't need those. You can, I guess you can use the grease. That's pretty much it, and the dart. But the summon, you can't use it in PvP. So basically, it's still the same thing. And then for stat wise, this is my stat for it. Whoops. This is gonna be my stat setup. Let's just go over a little bit. So level, we're gonna be at 100. It doesn't matter about runes, because I'm not gonna level up. Vigor, I kept that at not 100 at 43. I didn't touch mine at all. Endurance, I tied it with Vigor, so they're both at 43. Strength, I didn't upgrade these. Actually, these should just be at 40, I believe. I think it's because of this that the stat went up. So let's just go. Yeah. So this is the default stat. So we're gonna take off the Radagon's Scarseal, so it doesn't mess me up like that. Okay. So Vigor at 40, mine at 11, Endurance at 40, Strength at 18. The 18 is for the Nagakiba, because you need 18 to wield the Nagakiba. And Dexterity at 45. And then we'll keep Intelligent, Faith, and Arcane the same. So we don't touch any of those. And then the Great Rune that we're using. It's not here, is it? Oh, it's over here. So the Great Rune that we're going to be using is Radagon's Great Rune. You can also use Godric's. It says it raises all attributes, so I'm not 100% sure like how much it raises, but the one I went for, it raises maximum HP, FP, and stamina, since those are going to be the ones that we're going to use like the most. You know, we need more HP for survival, FP to unleash more dodges for PvE, more weapon arts for PvP, and stamina obviously, you know, for the attacks. And yeah, these are the crystal tiers that I added in my wondrous flask. So yeah, that's pretty much it for level, equips, and how I fight. And yeah, let's go over some of the boss fights. Okay, so the boss we're going to be using for this build's, I guess, power demonstration, it's going to be Radagon and the Elden Beast. So yeah, Radagon, we're going to be doing the solo fight here, and you can see we're doing some good damage with that jump attack. It does, like I said, that's like your key to fighting most of the bosses, because he attacks fairly quick. So you know, we're doing our roll attacks, we're doing our jump attacks. They're both pretty good. I'm not really using the combo attacks as much, because I feel like it's just it dishes out damage too slow, where you can just do the jump attack and, you know, get that chunk of HP down already. and also you can down bosses. I don't believe regular attacks can down bosses, as far as like not that I can remember anyways. So let's see our damage on Elden Ring. This is just one jump attack right there, and it does like about 900 damage, and you can also get some more buffs and stuff like that to up your damage. Like if you're you don't have to follow the whole level 100 thing. So if you bypass level 100, like if you're 120, 150 or whatever, you'll do way more damage than just like 900 with the Dex. So yeah. And that's gonna wrap it up for our enemy PvE showcase. Let's go on to PvP. So this first PvP video is gonna be with Bloodhound Step. And you know, it's doable, it's viable, but I don't know. I feel like if you're doing 2v1s, it might be a little bit more tough. This guy, I feel like he didn't know what was going on. He does not know about the Bloodhound Step. And then we're just gonna throw these guys a little bit. This guy tried to attack your fellow invader. And here is gonna be a little demo with Hand of Malenia. Which, this is why I suggest if you want a PvP with this build, this is the way to go. Especially because most of the time, like the host is gonna have a phantom with them. I mean, if you're doing 1v1 fight, you can use Bloodhound Step, you know, or just use Hand of Malenia. Up to you, whatever the heck you want. But if you're fighting 2v1, 3v1, this is the way to go. Hand of Malenia will just wreck their assholes open. So yeah, that's pretty much gonna wrap it up for this build sky / showcase kind of thing. And yeah, thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope to catch you all next time. Oops.